Hello folks, just to let you know, we also create strategic websites for clients worldwide. So if you or anyone you know needs a new or redesigned website, please visit us at creativethunder.co and get in touch. By doing so, you'll help us to continue to develop more videos like the one you're about to watch.
Hello folks, it is Saturday the 28th of May. Going into the evening, we're just about to have dinner. I just want to show you, this is a day with virtually no clouds. Let me just show you what the sky looks like. Okay, away from the sun. You can see it's an ostensibly blue sky day until you get back to the other horizon. All horizons are a grunge nowadays. You can't escape that. You can see the effect at the horizon level by looking here. You can see a little bit of blue at the top, and look at that grunge. This otherworldly, post-apocalyptic grunge that reminds me of the film Dune for some reason. But just look at this. It's horrible. It's horrendous. You're not going to be able to make it out in the video, but in the far distance are hills that are just completely chalked out. Even close in, you can see like this set of hills over there is so chalky white. So chalky white. And you can see that the sun is still quite high above the horizon. We've got plenty of time for sunlight to remain here this evening. But it's just so dimmed, so behind the aerosols. Okay, still Saturday evening, just about a minute after I shut off the camera last time. The sun has now moved from behind that small cloud, so I just wanted you to see what it's like despite the fact that the sun is now away from that small cloud that we saw in the earlier clip. You can still see just how chalky white, how chock-a-block the atmosphere is with this horrible crap. In fact, you can even see the effect of the whited out hills more now with the sun not being behind that small cloud, because the sun is reflecting off of all these metallic aerosols at ground level, and so everything is just chalked out. Again, I'm going to try focusing on that distant horizon, but you can see even long before the distant horizon how chalky things are. Look at how white the sky is. You can actually see a plane up there laying down another chemtrail, but just how unbelievably white this is. And again, notice that there are very, very few clouds. This is a virtually cloud-free day, cloud-free evening, but there's no blue. You know, it's just unbelievably white, chalked out, horrendous glare from the sun, horrendous platinum white glare from the sun. The hills and the trees, even the short distance, are chalky white. Even if you go 180 degrees away from the sun, you still get this band of grunge. The sky is this ostensible blue, but anybody who remembers true blue skies, this doesn't cut it, folks. And in fact, keep in mind always when I take videos or photographs with my iPhone, which I'm doing right now, the iPhones really pump up the saturation. So the color that I'm seeing on the screen as compared to the actual color is much, much darker. But you can see just how white it is, with just the palest of blue with this grunge. And notice, folks, that that grunge that's at ground level is 360 degrees. Okay? The reason for that is the world that we're living in. That is the atmosphere, the troposphere that we're all existing in. And we're existing in this absolute cloud of aerosols. So don't think of the geoengineering just taking place up there. It's not just about the planes and what they're spraying up there. They have saturated the atmosphere. They have saturated the troposphere upon which all of life depends. And we're now living in this cloud of aerosols, these heavy metal nanoparticulates that we're breathing. It's in our water, it's in our food. There can be no organic. When the whole troposphere is filled with terribly poisonous heavy metals. There can be no organic. It doesn't matter how organic you are in your growing practices. All of the soil, all of the water, all of the rainwater, all of the air is just saturated with poisons. And keep in mind, folks, that for decades and decades, particularly in the US, but we still get it around the world elsewhere in the form of fluoride toothpastes. For decades, they've been trying to tell us that fluorides were perfectly safe, even though they had previously been used as rat poison and pesticide poisons. They are known to be extremely poisonous. And yet, what do we do in the US? They fill our municipal water supplies with poison, known to sharply lower the IQ of those who drink it. So, effectively, the genius of the American population has largely been dulled by the use of fluorides in the water. So don't be surprised that fluoride existed as an industrial waste product. What better way to get rid of it than to just pour it into the municipal water supplies and actually make money from it, even though it's a known poison. So when you've got that history, decades of history and criminality behind the fluoridation of the water system, don't be surprised when they're now doing the same thing with our air. And also, as previously noted, whatever's in the air gets into the water table, gets into our drinking water, gets into our soil, and contaminates completely the food that we eat. Again, no matter how organically grown it is, it cannot be organic when it's growing in a cloud of highly toxic heavy metal nanoparticulates. And when the water used to water the crops is likewise contaminated with heavy metal nanoparticulates. Cannot be organic, folks. Far from it. They're poisoning us day in and day out, just as they did throughout my lifetime in the United States through the use of fluoridated water. And now we're getting it notched up by way of the geoengineering program. Anyways, that's it for now. Again, hope everyone's well, and I'll talk with you again soon. Hello, folks. This is Sunday, the 29th of May, 2016. And again, we're just about to eat dinner, so it's quite late in the evening. But I just want to show you that we have the same grunge that I was talking about in my video of yesterday. I'm going to go ahead and include this with the video that I shot yesterday, but you can see the grunge at the horizon level exactly as we had it yesterday. It never disappears. In fact, we were out for about an hour, hour and a half long walk earlier this evening. Would have been a beautiful walk, except things are really unbelievably whited out, even more than they were yesterday. The heavy metal aerosols are just chock-a-block in the atmosphere right now. If I turn 180 degrees, again, you can see the grunge at ground level. And there as well. As always, it's 360 degrees, and the band of grunge is growing ever higher above the horizon. It extends ever higher up because this is what we're living in. As I just said in the video in the caption, this is what we're living in all the time. This is what we're breathing. And one more brief shot, folks. It's still Sunday, the 29th of May, 2016. And it's about 9:36 in the evening. And I want to show you what this band of grunge looks like even after the sun has gone down. I'm sure you're seeing something like this where you live if you pay attention to it. Pay attention to the hills and the trees and the houses and the office buildings or whatever's around you, and pay attention to how chalky things are over the course of the day, and pay attention to this grunge that we just get at the horizon every single day, all the time. And remember, this grunge, it's easy to think that it's somewhere over there, but that grunge is right where I'm standing. It's everywhere. It's what we're breathing. It's what our crops, food crops, are growing in. It is what our rain is passing through on its way into the aquifer, the water table. It's as if we're living right outside of Los Angeles and we're looking at the grunge of pollution. Except we've witnessed this again in 20 plus countries, in some of the most remote parts of Europe, far away from any cities or industrial centers. And it's been with a growing sense of horror that Mufid and I have awakened to this reality. And it's always brought home to a very large degree whenever we return home to England. And we return to that place that we left prior to heading out on our 4 years of slow travels around the continent and around Britain. And every year we return back to the UK, and we are astounded at how the visibility has so sharply decreased year after year after year. How white everything is. You know, the hills that we used to look out from our bedroom window to looking towards the South Downs on the southeast part of England. Seeing that those have been just completely masked by a gauze of chalky white aerosols. And it just sickens us. And I think it's made all the more painful to see that nobody seems to be talking about it. Nobody in these countries, whether we're talking about England or any of the other countries that we travel to, seem to even notice this happening. They don't talk about it. It's as if they're psychologically not capable of actually acknowledging the truth of their own experience. But pay attention to it yourself, folks. Pay attention to the way the visibility is just dropping like a rock as more and more aerosols saturate the troposphere. And I'll leave you with that. Again, I hope you have a fantastic week to come, and I'm going to upload this straight onto my computer and drop it into the video to publish this evening. So this will be with you very shortly. As always, thanks again for your support. I really appreciate it, and I'll talk with you again soon.